Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games, back with another really cool arcade game video for you tonight. Check this one out. Does anything scream 1991 more than this? This is a clean sweep arcade game crane machine. You would be surprised at how popular these things are. Every time we get in a crane, it sells quick. People just like them. I don't know why. And just as a little clue, they're all rigged. I've got the keys. Believe me, they're rigged. I'm going to show you here in a minute. They're all rigged, but people love them. It just, reminds you of that whole arcade thing. These things were all over the place. So, this is probably my favorite one. They just look cool, man. That red cabinet, it's just awesome. We got this in. Usually these are pretty inexpensive. You can actually still make money with them if you put them out on location. They still earn. Smart Industries made this. For indoor use only. Clean sweep. They also had one called Bear Claw that was very popular. Used the same boards and things, and it looked just like this. It just said Bear Claw instead of Clean Sweep. I don't really know what the difference was, but you see those sometimes. You see Smart Industries Corporation, proudly made in USA in Des Moines, Iowa. And so we've got some little stuffed animals in here. I won't bore you with actually playing it. You can see they had some brackets on here for security reasons, these big hasps that were across the front. Every time we get a game that's got that, we take that crap off, throw it right in the trash, because we want them to look like they used to. Now, of course, it's got holes in it now. It's not how it originally came, but at least it doesn't have big brackets hanging off the side and stuff. That's unnecessary. So these are pretty cool. It's got a little door down at the bottom. It's got a door up here. So if you turn both of these, this little door opens. These are some of the keys for the bottom and for the front door. They're very simple. You just got the little joystick with the button. Whenever you hit this button on the top, it presses the little switch underneath. And on the board here, you can see there is a little, that's a little potentiometer. You turn that and it makes the claw stronger or weaker. Now, that actually was mainly used, I laugh and say they're rigged and everything, but the way these worked, if you set them where you never won, they didn't make any money. So most operators didn't actually do that. They would set them where you can win it, but it was kind of a, back when these came out, it was kind of a a soft science. So basically what you did was, depending on how heavy the animals were and how big they were, and the size of your claw in your machine, because they made different ones, and the stuffed animals are different sizes, and also depending on how packed down in there the stuff is, you would turn that little knob, because if you had little tiny, like if you had certain things that were just a perfect size where the claw grabbed it really good, you'd have to loosen that claw up, because you don't want somebody winning every time. And then if you had items that were pretty hard to pick up, you might turn that claw all the way up to make it as strong as possible, so that people had a better chance of winning. Because if you filled it full of stuffed animals, and then let's say we go push this to the movie theater. Well, if nobody ever wins and it's always full, and everybody that's ever played it never won, the word kind of gets around and people say, "Oh, don't play that, you can't win." But if they set it just right where you win every once in a while, then people would keep playing. If you set it where people win every time, you wouldn't make any money. They put a quarter in and they win a stuffed animal every time. You go out of business doing that. So they had to set it where you win every once in a while, to keep you coming back, but you don't win so much that they're losing a bunch of money on the stuffed animals. And most locations on the cranes, as opposed to like the arcade games, on the arcade games in most locations they would just do a straight split, 50-50. The location would get half the money, the operator would get half the money. On a crane, what they would usually do is they would take some percentage of money off the top. So let's say the crane made $10, or let's say it made $100, just make it nice and even. Let's say the crane made $100. You might take 30% off the top, $30, to pay for the stuffed animals that you had to put back in to fill it back up. And then the location and the operator would split the other $70, 50-50. So on the cranes, in any of the redemption games, like if you have a bubblegum machine, it was kind of the same too. The way the contracts usually worked was that the operator would take a little bit off the top to pay for the merchandise that he was having to put back in the machine, since it was kind of an expendable thing. And this is the one with the little credit window and the timer. This was, like I said, a smart crane, and I think this was their 5th generation PCB board, but they had a bunch of different ones. It's pretty much, they were all about the same. But my favorite part about these is this cool infinity light. Look at that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you back to 1990 by just turning off the lights and showing you how it looks with the lights off. So we'll turn off the lights here. Remember that? You're like in a movie theater and it's like lighting up the carpet around it and blah, 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 blah. And look at that. Fantastic. It really had a cool attract mode. It made you want to go over and put a quarter in it. So there you go. Nice little clean sweep crane. Now by the time you see this video, we may have already sold the clean sweep crane, but maybe we'll have another one in, or maybe we'll have some arcade games that you're interested in. You can see everything that we've got for sale on our website. We're at lionsarcade.com. And if you're here local to us, you can come by and visit. We're in downtown Rock Hill, South Carolina, which is about 15 minutes south of Charlotte, North Carolina. And we're just over the border. And we've got a shop here with just dozens of games for sale at all times, so you can come by and see what we've got in. Or if you're not local and you're not looking to buy a freaking crane, if you're not looking to buy a crane and you're not local, just subscribe to us here on YouTube. We'll film videos of every time we get something interesting in like this. We'll film a little video of it and just remind everybody how these things once were, because that's what we do. We get them back how they once were. So we'll see you on the next video.